Can you tell me when it goes live?
I think it just did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to this live episode of the Homeopathy Health Show here on the UK Health Radio Network, and of course, the award-winning Homeopathy Health Show. I'm Atik.
And I'm Daila. Welcome, everyone.
It's absolutely fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been so long, has it not? But we have some exclusive updates as far as the film introducing homeopathy and everything that is going around the film itself. So absolutely delighted to welcome Kim Elia. Welcome, Kim.
Atik, thank you. Welcome. It's my pleasure to be here. And Nyla, nice to meet you.
And
Same.
Isabel Wells, the genius.
Oh, well, thank you for that. I'm very happy to be here.
It's just been an incredible year, hasn't it? And we've been following and sharing on socials, as you know, all the updates that introducing homeopathy has been providing. And the film has gone from strength to strength with so many exclusive viewings. But please, hey, over to you. Tell us what's new and what's happening and how it's progressed over the last half a year or so.
Yeah, well, the film has been seen by more than 500,000 people. We aired it on Children's Health Defense platform. We've also done a number of private screenings, and we've also even shown it at various theaters here in the United States, and those have been very, very successful, actually. So we are going to be doing another screening probably in Toronto in April, and we're going to continue to make the film available.
Yes.
We're going to continue to make the film available through these various platforms, and it's also available on our website. You can either purchase or rent the film. It's basically $5 to rent it and $15 to purchase it. But what we're working on now, presently, aside from introducing homeopathy, is our next project. Actually, we're working on two different projects. One is entitled Investigating Homeopathy, which is a 45 to 50-minute pilot that we're creating, that we're going to submit to Netflix, and we're expecting them to fund a 10-part series about homeopathy entitled Investigating Homeopathy. So this is the project we're working
Wow.
on. We engaged, I sent out an email to our list, and we got asking for people who were scriptwriters and filmmakers to volunteer and support us in this particular project. We got about 25 responses. I contacted each of these individuals and interviewed them. And we now have a collection of almost 20 individuals who meet on a weekly basis to provide feedback and ideas about the overall narrative of the pilot, what direction we're going in, the 10-part series, and things of that nature. It's very, very exciting. And I think it's going to, even more than introducing homeopathy, it's really going to shift the perception and understanding of homeopathy amongst the general public. Because if we can get this 10-part series onto Netflix, you can imagine the millions and tens of millions of people who will view this and have their opinions about homeopathies changed. So we're really excited about that. And I'm going to let Isabel show a clip from that in just a minute. But before I do that, I wanted to also say that we're also working on another project, which is a Hollywood blockbuster film about Hahnemann's life. And
Wow.
it's
Wow.
really exciting. Yeah, it's the most amazing story. I mean, you really don't really even have to do that much. It has political intrigue and romance and people, who believe one thing being persuaded that they don't understand what's really going on. I mean, it's got every cinematic quality that you'd want for a blockbuster film. And I think we have funding for that as well, hopefully. But we're really, really excited about it. And I'd be happy to answer more questions about that. But I think maybe Isabel can show the little video we have. It's 7 minutes long, and she can share a little bit about that.
Absolutely. But before you do that, I mean, it's just genius, the fact that you came up with this idea and the incredible team that you have behind you. And of course, we're here to support you, as of course, in everything that you're doing, as you know. And but also, it's just really wonderful to be able to celebrate Hahnemann on the big screen when that happens, when that when it comes to life. It's brilliant. So good. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank
I,
you.
I'm convinced it's going to be like one of the best films ever made. Up there with Gone with the Wind or
Yeah.
Godfather,
But
something
the
like
next question, right?
that. What's that?
Who's going to play Hahnemann?
Yeah, well, I was hoping that Anthony Hopkins could play the elderly Hahnemann, and we'll have to
Mm,
find the younger Hahnemann actor.
well,
Um,
well.
Yeah.
And we've even talked about potential directors and everything as well. We'll see. We'll see.
This
Oh,
is so
wow, that's
exciting.
amazing. We were thinking about investigating homeopathy, and we are getting Hahnemann here. So ever so excited.
It's so exciting, isn't it? I'm trying to control myself. Like being on a roller coaster.
I am even more, I'm excited to see the trailer because I have not seen it yet. And Isabel, if you are so kind enough to play it for our audience live here.
Yeah, before you show, let me just say that the theme of the pilot is the perennial persecution of homeopathy since its inception up until the present time. And we're going to contrast that with all the reasons that people need to investigate homeopathy. For example, the British royal family has been using homeopathy for more than 100 years. The wealthiest and most, knowledgeable individuals, the richest people, the most famous physicians were all interested in homeopathy in the 19th century. So presidents were recommending it. So if all these people were advocates of homeopathy and there's all the skepticism, this is something that deserves to be investigated.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just mind-boggling. It's so exciting.
And right as I share my screen here, I just wanted to pop in one other note that, like Kim said, because this is about those who've been persecuted and whose stories have been kind of tamped down because of their association with homeopathy, the very beginning of this clip opens with someone who asked to remain anonymous because of the nature of their story. And so their voice is kind of garbled. We were joking before that it sounds a bit like someone out for ransom, to add to this effect and this excitement and intrigue that we have here.
Throughout history, there's been the persecution of new thinkers and a lot of martyrdom for people who have stretched the limits of our understanding of life in the universe. It's through that process that science and really all the philosophy of life has evolved. I got turned on to homeopathy in my first year of medical school. I'd been accepted at Stanford, and I did a preceptorship and saw cases cured homeopathically that I had just been taught were incurable. Being young and very idealistic and naive, I thought, this is amazing. I want to bring that back to Stanford. So I arranged for a conference. As a result of my putting on this lecture, they started harassing me. They made all kinds of accusations that were unsubstantiated and made me take an entire year of medical school again. I found out later from my lawyer who investigated the whole situation that they had planned this to bankrupt me before I even got out of practice. After 4 years and 11 months of medical school, I was not allowed to graduate.
Throughout history, human evolution has been marked by the search for a higher understanding of the universe. Each breakthrough built upon the last. Another step towards greater order. But with even the brightest minds, our work has sometimes taken equal steps backwards. And the very same brilliant hunger that drives us forward is so often misused for fraud and profit. It is our responsibility to audit every claim.
I want to tell you a little bit about why I decided to study homeopathy. I think the story is very important. I had asthma for many years. I had been treating my asthma and it would go away, but it wouldn't go away completely. So in 1993, I was going camping with our kids and I felt myself breaking out with poison ivy. But I felt good. I didn't feel sick. And as soon as the redness in my arms went away, my asthma completely disappeared. I couldn't believe it. What does asthma look like in the lungs histologically? The editor of the New England Journal of Medicine's response was, poison ivy in your lungs. And there was this eureka moment like, oh my gosh, did I take this inflammation from my lungs and move it to my arms and get it out of my system. So I was determined to study classical homeopathy to understand why this happened.
At a time when trends push healthcare to the front of global politics, consuming more research funds than any other science, homeopathy has become the second most common medicine around the globe. Using a principle discovered in ancient Greece, where similar symptoms cancel each other, it has shown revolutionary ways to heal diseases otherwise incurable. But it operates on such a subtle level that modern medicine still seeks to understand it. And the doctors who've used its methods have suffered more than 200 years of persecution.
In 2003, I rescued a horse. They basically said he'll be dead in 3 days. Getting a lot of ozone, getting a homeopathy, getting support. He lived 8.5 years jumping in horse shows. So to me, that was a success. The veterinary board, they wouldn't see it. They said he should have been euthanized. And I thought it was wrong because I didn't do anything wrong to save my horse's life. But because I stood up, the veterinary board was informed to get rid of Dr. Roman. And I've spent over $1.6 million on legal stuff, torn apart and prejudiced completely because I was doing something alternative.
The institutions of our government have been used as political weapons against holistic practitioners.
I'm a family physician going through the mechanics of conventional medicine. I became a bit disenchanted with what seemed to be limited results and studied at the Athenian School of Homeopathic Medicine. I then went to work in Western North Carolina, announcing to the world I was a homeopath. A few months later, I had an unsolicited visit, investigators for the North Carolina Board of Medical Examiners. I then got a subpoena to appear for a formal procedure where I was being charged with a failure to practice acceptable and prevailing medicine. There was no instance of a patient complaint. There was no assertion that anything I had done was unsafe. That first hearing, when I began to talk about homeopathy, its efficacy, I was at that point interrupted, and they said, well, we're not making homeopathy the prime subject of this investigation, but rather your competence as a physician. So they proceeded to ask me a lot of medical questions, which I knew the answer to. I had a number of internal medicine physicians, and then I had a number of patients who testified as to the benefit they achieved from homeopathy that they hadn't elsewhere. It was truly a battle of philosophies. The board then charged me with unprofessional conduct, which was defined as failing to practice according to acceptable and prevailing standards. Rather than pulling my license, they offered me conditional probation, wherein I could remain in North Carolina practicing conventional medicine as long as I abandoned my homeopathic practice.
Wow, that is, that's literally like sitting in a cinema, isn't it? That's just phenomenal. What a story. What an absolutely beautifully put together story. And when was that just the first how big is that episode? The
Well,
first?
that's just a rough draft of the direction that we're moving in. Again, the theme is the persecution of homeopathy since its beginning up until the present time. There are so many instances of this, Hahnemann being tried and Herring being, just go on and on and on. So we're going to identify all of those, show the history, and then also show the fact that, homeopathy, there's so many reasons to look into homeopathy. Nobel Prize winners are advocating for homeopathy.
Mm.
The British royal family is advocating for it. Famous entertainers and scientists are promoting homeopathy. So this is worthy of investigation and discussion.
I mean, that really, that was mind blowing, to be honest. That's so good, isn't it, Naila?
It was. I was just thinking, how do these people approach you, or how do you approach these people? Because there are so many people out there who have experienced this persecution, who have these life-changing events where they were practicing something and then they move into something else and then life changes. How do you go about that?
That's a great question. I really believe since the beginning of these projects, since the beginning of introducing homeopathy, that there's been divine intervention because we've been given all of these gifts to make these films possible.
Mhm.
So, for example, we decided at a certain point that we wanted to discuss the persecution of homeopathy. I was very well aware that George Guest was a medical doctor down in North Carolina who lost his license, had to leave the state, had to move to Virginia because essentially the Supreme Court of North Carolina wouldn't allow him to practice. So my good friend Mitch Fleischer lives very near to where Dr. Guest is. I contacted Mitch. Mitch contacted Dr. Guest. We arranged to go down to Virginia and interview him. But the reason I say that this is divine intervention is after we had decided on this particular theme, I was at the Children's Health Defense Conference in Austin, Texas. And we were sitting there waiting for this Saturday night gala event with a number of different people who were going to be speaking. And this woman walked by and she said, "Oh, Kim." And I didn't recognize her because I haven't seen her in like more than 20 years. And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Kim, it's Margot Roman." And I said, "Oh, Margot. I didn't recognize you. Sorry, sit down. How are you?" She said, "Oh my God,
Mm.
I've had a terrible time. The last 3 years, I've spent more than $1.6 million and years of my life fighting to get back my veterinary medical license." And I thought, this is like God giving me a gift to
Mm.
include because not only was she a perfect individual to include in the film, but it just so happened that the following week I was going to Boston to see my grandchildren, and that's where she lives. So, the whole thing was, it's like I said, it's just a miracle.
It,
Absolutely. What
it's
an
all about
amazing story.
energies. It's all about energies. You
Yeah.
when you open up your aura and the energy comes to you.
Yeah. If
What
you're
you
doing
say,
something good, right things come to you,
right things come to you. Yes, they do. Then that's the people I believe.
I kind of feel that way about Isabel. Isabel was a gift as well from God. She just
Oh,
kind of volunteered, showed up, and she's been an
Hey,
instrumental person in making all of this possible.
Oh, thank you for that, Kim. No, it really has been such an honor to get to work on these projects. And like Kim said, I volunteered at the very beginning, and obviously that role grew into what we are now. And being able to
mm,
see the project from start to finish and then grow into the series and the blockbuster film, and just watching, I think, especially the way that the community has come together. We
mm,
like to say that the film's been seen by more than 500,000 people because that's a really lovely number, but for me, the number that really strikes my heart is that we have, more than probably 30,000 active members who are constantly asking us, how's it going? How can we support? How can we share this? What can we do? I know this person who would want to be filmed. I have this contact. And to have that kind of community and really feel, and I'm sure you guys understand this as well because of the incredible work that you do, that feeling that you're really part of a movement and part of that
mm.
momentum that's actually making change happen is absolutely incredible.
It's a beautiful feeling, and I have this feeling that this year we spoke about 2025 being the year of homeopathy, and it was because of what you did. But the genius stroke here has to be the fact that you didn't just stop there. You didn't stop with IH is done and there you go. The fact you've carried on, this is what is exponential growth. It's just fantastic. I love that.
Oh, great. Well, I think we should change it from 2025 being the year of homeopathy to every year is the year of homeopathy.
every year
Yes.
is the year of homeopathy. Absolutely. My next question was going to be for Isabel about what made you come to introducing homeopathy? You volunteered. What was there that brought you here and where you are today?
Oh, that's a great question. Let's see. It would have been back in 2019. So I've been with the film team for 7 years now, which is
Um,
absolutely incredible. And It came to me at a time where I was at this crossroads in my own life, and my mom had used homeopathy with me growing up, and I had some really severe chronic health issues from the time I was 12 to the time I was about 19. And homeopathy was really the only thing that ended up making a difference in my health. I had been in and out of doctors for 7 years, tried all kinds of different things, absolutely nothing helped until I found homeopathy. And so I had this internal passion for understanding that this is something that can give hope to people who have lost that hope.
Mm.
And my mom was a huge fan of Kim Elias. I think she's still a little bit in awe of the fact that I have his phone number and probably talk to him every day. But she was on his mailing list, and they sent out an email, much as we do now, calling for volunteers for the film. And she said, Isabel, I really think that you should do this. You know, this is homeopathy. This man's incredible. The project's incredible. You should do it. And so I had a call with Kim, and we were just talking about my experience and my skill set, and he was like, you know what, I think you're going to be the person that can help us bring this to life. And it's really just blossomed from there. And like I said, being able to just be involved every step of the way, and to have, the honor of Kim kind of looking at me and saying, can you grow this way? Can you push this way a little bit more, and enhance what we're doing and find a new angle and a new aspect and way that we can bring this to the community? It's been really a really special collaboration, I would say.
That's so
That's so
beautifully
Beautiful.
said. So
That's so
It's
beautifully said.
it really is just truly amazing that how this you use the word movement and how this movement is progressing, and it's just growing and growing, and it's going to reach that snowball effect where it's going to be, God willing, absolutely unstoppable. We all know that. We all know that as homeopaths, We talk about the film to so many of our guests, don't we, on the Homeopathy Health Show, and people are aware, people know what's going on, and that in itself, the fact that people are aware and creating that global awareness, it's going to happen. We know, Kim, because of you. If your heart's in the right place, something I think you both referred to earlier, it's going to happen. Everything aligns, doesn't it? This is the year of manifestation for homeopathy. To
Yeah.
get into people's hearts.
Aside from the excitement of doing this project, I think what's been most amazing for me is just the incredible support that we've received from the homeopathic community. Isabel alluded to this earlier, but we've had so many people come forward. We have all these people who are volunteering, helping us with the Investigating Homeopathy pilot for Netflix. We had so many people who donated products, made financial donations, which, we wouldn't be able to make these films without the financial support of the community. And we're still needing that financial support because these types of projects require a tremendous amount of resources,
Mm.
labor power, financial resources. So I'm hoping that Isabel, could you mention a little bit about that so we can just share about, because we really do need the support out there to make these projects, to realize these projects.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna share my screen again here just so that you guys can see. We have a really incredible website with all kinds of free homeopathy resources, etc. But one of the things that we've really put a lot of effort into when it comes to building the community is understanding that, this isn't a one-way street. Like you guys were saying, it's opening your energy, opening your heart to a community, and having that collaboration and that dual share of what's coming and going. And so we've really put a lot of effort into our premium gift system here so that anytime you donate to the film, it's not just, oh, your contribution is, received and you'll see it when the pilot comes out. It's really, what can we give back to you? So we have a really fantastic selection of homeopathy courses, a subscription to Homeopathic House Call, which is an acute care software that anyone can use, classes with true masters in the homeopathic field. And so we set this up so that anytime you're giving a donation to the film, you're also getting something back and really feeling like there is that reciprocity, because it's that reciprocity that's allowed us to get to where we are today and to have the film be created and finished, but also to have the vision and the momentum, like we were talking about earlier, to have the pilot start to come to fruition and hopefully to take it to Netflix. So right now we have a fundraising goal of 250,000. That's about what we've estimated is what it's going to take to really make this pilot, like Atik said earlier, that cinema grade production that can really entice Netflix and get it in front of millions and millions of people. And as you can see we've already had so many incredible people donating. And, we always like to say, whatever comes through, we're always going to be grateful for, whether that's the $5 donation or the multi-figure donation. And
Mm.
again, any donation of $30 or more, we're going to have that premium gift in return so that you know that we see you, we're grateful for you, and you really feel like part of this community and part of this movement. Because Kim always makes fun of me for saying this, but I always like to say that the film is really, a love letter to our community and to homeopathy itself. And so having that again, that reciprocity, I think makes this really special. And it's something that I think is unique to us. I don't think I've seen something quite like this done in other films. So it's again, it's another way that we're building our community. But like Kim said, it's also something that's really vital to the production and completion of the pilot. We absolutely cannot do it without the support of our community.
Mm.
Can you also
Absolutely.
show them that if they make a $500 more donation, what happens, how they get listed on the website?
Yeah, absolutely. So the other aspect that we have here is, of course, we want to again recognize everyone who is supporting us. So we have our page of absolutely incredible sponsors where you get your photo, your website, your logo, a link if you want it. And those donor categories start at $500 and go all the way up to over $20,000. So as soon as you've donated 500, whether that was a one-time donation or accumulation of many, many donations over time, you get listed on our sponsor page and really acknowledged for the gift and the support that you've offered. And if you end up donating over $10,000, you also get listed um, as an ambassador of the film. And so our ambassadors are really the people who have made momentous contributions to the film. And so therefore, they have special priority in our hearts because they've really
Mm.
shown their appreciation for not just homeopathy, but for the work that we do. And so you get listed on our website, you get a special pop-up. All of our donors get listed in the credits of both the film and now obviously upcoming will be the pilot. You'll get listed there as well. And, priority marketing, we like to say, so that when somebody reaches out and says, hey, where can I learn more about XYZ? Or where's a good resource for learning more about homeopathy, etc., we know exactly who to send them to because we have a really trusted network of supporters.
Oh, that's so
Wonderful.
wonderful.
Thanks,
I,
Isabel.
I, I love the Calcarea, the Argentum donors. The names are brilliant. I understand that there must be a team behind it, but how did you come to this? Let's call them Calcarea donors. Let's call them Param donors.
It seemed like a good idea to name it
It
after
is.
companies, it's just it
It-
makes sense. Yeah.
But you do need a secret one called lanthanites.
Lanthanides, yeah.
Yeah.
Who
That's a
don't
hundred
want to be
thousand dollars. That's a
mentioned.
$100,000 donation or
Yeah.
more. Get to that. Yeah.
That was a nice one. Or people who don't want to be mentioned,
Yeah.
lanthanines. That
Wonderful.
was lovely because I don't think anyone does this because many people they donate and they're donating, but they're getting something in return, something as a gratitude from it, just like a gift or thank you card from you people. It's amazing, beautiful how you do what you do, and whatever you, Isabel, you mentioned something about your journey, like wanted to do something that gives hope to humanity. And I think this is what introducing homeopathy has done. And the other projects that are coming up, they are giving hope to humanity. And I think that is the most important thing that is needed nowadays. We people need hope. And they are hanging up to something, on to something, but they don't know where the hope is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to be honest, I think that's one of the things that I'm the most excited about with the series because the film was really this enthusiastic presentation of the wonder of homeopathy, and with the series we're really kind of taking this more dualistic approach of looking at, yes, there are absolutely so many incredible stories and so many supporters, but we're also really acknowledging that there's a lot of controversy and there has been a lot of shadow surrounding homeopathy. And so, can we take an honest look at that? And I think that it's
Mm.
really going to speak to the people who, hear the word homeopathy and go, oh no, I won't do that. That's a little too out there, and really call them in and say, that's fine. We're going to acknowledge that that is absolutely I don't want to quite say valid viewpoint, but it is a viewpoint that exists, and we really want to look at it and dissect it and understand. That's why it's called investigating homeopathy. It's not going to be us just coming forward and saying, homeopathy is the greatest gift to humankind. It's us coming forward and saying, this is what we believe, this is what others believe, and can we take this really investigative approach to understand what is the true answer? Where does the facts lie? And can homeopathy be a potential source of hope in the future? And I actually want to plug one more little thing here while we're talking about giving hope to people, because we are also doing a collaborative effort to, again, to bring hope to people in that way, called the Homeopathy in Action series. So I'm going to pull up our website here. So the Homeopathy in Action series is a free 8-part homeopathy case series that we're doing in collaboration with Global Natural Health Solutions and Whole Health Now. And so this is where we have 8 experienced expert homeopaths coming together to share real cases. So we have people presenting on things like vaccine injury or congenital conditions, depression, etc. Pretty much any of those conditions that you can think of that, like we mentioned earlier, could be considered untreatable. We have expert homeopaths coming forward to say, look, here's an actual case with an actual person and the step-by-step process that went into caring for them, choosing the remedy, and the outcomes that happened. And as you can see from our little photo here, many of the people who are being featured in this series were also featured in the film. So they are very familiar faces. And if you've been wanting to get back in touch with the incredible homeopaths that you heard from in the film, this is a fantastic way to do so. So the series is absolutely free because, again, it's focused on giving that hope back and saying, look, even in these incredibly complex conditions, homeopathy does offer that hope and it does offer a path forward, and it can be absolutely incredible, or like Kim said, a miracle in those cases where treatment hasn't been helpful. So we start on January 26th. There's 8 sessions over the next few months. The last one is on May 11th, and the recordings will all be provided. So if you can't join us live, you can always watch the recordings on your own time. And so I highly recommend everyone checking this out. You can go to introducinghomeopathy.com/upcoming-projects, or you can also view it on wholehealthnow.com. Again, this is a collaborative effort, so a little shout out there, but you can go to wholehealthnow.com and see it here on the upcoming events slider. And we would love to see you live. We would love to have you watch the recording. And of course, we would love to know if this really accomplishes our goal of giving you an inside look into homeopathy and a little bit more hope that maybe homeopathy can help.
That's
Great.
Just
really,
so you know,
really
this is designed both for practitioners of homeopathy, students of homeopathy, and the general public as well. So really, anybody can benefit from this free series.
wonderful. It's
That's
wonderful how
wonderful.
you've put that all together. And also, um, I was just thinking as you were explaining that, you know, the timeline couldn't be better, could it, Kim? Because the film came out, the series is out, and we're in the generation, literally, who, you know, the AI generation, the switched on generation, you know, who want to ask the questions nobody else will. If there's an elephant in the room, they're the ones that will go and say, there's an elephant. If you can't see it, I can. Let's talk about it, you know? And that's so important, because it's just the way it's matched, the fusion that's taking place is wonderful.
Yeah, you're totally right. The timing is remarkable. It's a perfect storm. And on top of what you just mentioned, there was just, I don't know if you know, there was a bill introduced into the House of Congress here in
Mm,
the United States to protect homeopathy. So this is now part of our public awareness here in the United States, is that the US government is actually deliberating over whether to protect homeopathic medicines and homeopathic services for the future. So this is in the public perception right now, and we're coming out with this pilot for Netflix. I think it's just a perfect storm to have all of it.
perfect, isn't it?
Yeah.
And there are some pro homeopaths, I suppose, or supporters, of course, within government, which is
Uh,
nice, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
I also like the non-supporters as well, because publicity is publicity. If it comes
Yeah,
from non-supporters,
Yeah.
people will still ask, "Oh, why are they not supporting it?
yeah,
Let's
yeah.
find out." I have a
Absolutely.
question for you, Kim. As you have been a homeopath for so long, when was the first time the seed of introducing homeopathy planted in your heart? I need to do something like that.
So that's a great question. You know, I've for many, many years now have been wanting to make documentary films or films in general. I've had this desire to do this, and I never thought that that would actually come to really happen, you know, because I'm a homeopath, I'm very busy and I see patients and I do a lot of teaching, and I thought, you know, it's not going to happen. But I started this project a number of years ago called Global Natural Health Solutions. I hired a videographer to help me make some short videos for it. He was very, very good. He made some really excellent products. And we really resonated with each other because his father's an acupuncturist. He's very sympathetic to natural healing and energetic medicine. So we really resonated. And at a certain point, I thought, why don't I work with Julian, this individual, and we can, make this wonderful documentary to promote homeopathy, will fulfill my ambition to make a film. He's got the requisite skills and talent to do it, which I don't. But I have the knowledge of homeopathy, and fortunately, the whole community came together and supported the project, and that's really how it came into existence.
It again goes back to the energy. You open up, you tell the universe, this is something I want, and the universe makes it happen. It has to be a positive attitude, positive energy, and you have the desire to help the humanity, and it happened.
Yeah.
So amazing. I just love the way we have this opportunity to give hope. Again, give hope to everyone. Like there is not just one solution, there are solutions out there, and explore. It might not be the one, but still there is hope there. There are so many other things there. I love homeopathy, so I will be endorsing it. I will have my biases, but again, if you have not explored it, just give it a try. When we go to a different country or a different culture, we do try their foods, don't we? So it's it's not gonna do anything. Like we everyone goes and eat antibiotics, eat take paracetamol, take this and that. I don't think a pill can harm you. If you have a bump or a bruise, take arnica, and there you know how it helps, how it goes. You can test
Yeah.
it yourself. Don't go to a homeopath. Just buy arnica and pump yourself and you take it.
But it's also, I mean, further to what you've said, it's so eloquently said, put it there, but it's just the way that homeopathy changes your life. And we've had these discussions, and certainly Nyla and I have spoken about this so many times. If your a family member or children are sick, and conventional systems require time, and they some anxiety, some pressure and whatnot. And here with homeopathy, it empowers you to think logically and sensibly and say, well, I've got two options now, and which one worked last time, which one doesn't need me to stress out, and stress the child out, or stress myself out. And that's life changing, literally life changing, isn't it?
There's so many people out there who are suffering unnecessarily because the conventional medical system doesn't have a solution for their particular health issue. But
Mm,
homeopathy oftentimes does. And for people not to know about that, that's really a crime. For people to have to suffer unnecessarily is a crime. And
mm.
homeopathy offers so many opportunities for people to get well. Anybody who knows that, it's an obligation of them to do whatever they can to let others be aware of this amazing system of medicine.
Is there and you have said such an important point here, and I was thinking if there is a possibility to have a fusion, like that an MD also learns about homeopathy, also learn about acupuncture, and gives other this opportunity or this just tell them there are other solutions available. Like I've lived in Germany, and my pediatrician, she used homeopathy, she used natural remedies before she resorted to any other pharmaceutical medicines, and we were all very happy about it. I thought everyone does that. And when I moved to UK, this was not a norm, and I was like, oh, where do I get my herbs from now? And I think it will be world will be such a better place if we can bring this fusion back.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, we shouldn't throw away all the benefits
Yeah,
of the conventional medical system. If you get hit by a car or a bus,
yeah,
thank God you have a hospital that you can go to and they can provide surgery. So
obviously.
all of that we want to continue. We want the diagnostic capabilities of conventional medicine to be available to us. All those things are useful.
Yes,
And rather than taking large cocktails of medicines, which basically just manage your symptoms but never really address the underlying root cause of the problem, homeopathy actually does that. It actually addresses the root issues and can resolve the situation fully so the person actually heals.
yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. It's just
So
wonderful.
beautifully said.
Yeah. No, go on. It's so exciting times, And hey, from the Homeopathy Health Show, of course, we're 100% with you on this journey. We have been for several years now, and it's been an absolute honor and joy. And with homeopathy in practice as well, that joins onto this huge ship of homeopathy. And we'll raise the flag. You know, all of us together will raise that flag of homeopathy far and high and far and wide.
Cannot wait to promote it to the wider audience, because that's really what is needed. We can put in all the effort, but we want everyone to see it, to watch it, to promote it. Not 500,000, 10 million, 20 million, the whole universe, the whole population needs to watch it.
You know, we really appreciate your support. You've been such wonderful supporters of this project in so many different ways, and so thank you so much for that, and for also the important work you're doing to spread the good word about homeopathy.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And we'd also like this opportunity to say, and don't test me, but for those that we've certainly had contact with, so Kim, Mickey, Isabel, Carol, Julian, did I forget anybody?
There's hundreds of people actually involved.
And everybody else. I'm talking about the core people that we've had an opportunity to speak to. But thank you for what you're doing, because you really are changing lives. And whether or not it's not about whether or not somebody uses homeopathy, it's the fact that they're aware and they accept it and they understand it. The message is there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's done. It's just phenomenal what you've done and what you've achieved. And I think it's just going to be incredible this year for everybody involved.
It definitely will be collective effort, community effort, community
It's
spirit
brilliant.
is what is needed. We all come together and we move together and we make it happen. You've said so beautifully, so that they need to be aware it's available. The choice is theirs. It has to be there in front of them and they can choose. Thank you. Thank you for all what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been an absolute joy. And of course, we're going to be in touch and do some more collaboration and promoting, introducing homeopathy, the series.
Yeah. Well, let's do another one of these when we get closer to the actual release of
Yes, absolutely. Let's
Absolutely.
do that.
Yeah. We'll see you over there. We'll come
All right,
over.
sounds great.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much
Yeah,
indeed.
thank
And we'll
you.
talk
Bye,
very soon.
everyone.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.